Please get ready for the passage. Sir, I rise to commend the Lokpal and the Lokayuks Bill 2011 to the distinguished members of this House. Sir, since my colleague has already commended this bill to the Honorable House, I will not take too much time. I would like to state that this House is confronted with a historic opportunity either to make history or to repeat history, and I am sure that the distinguished members of this House will today collectively make history and not repeat it. Sometimes we have to rise above our political viewpoints and listen to those outside this house, listen to their expectations from the distinguished members of this house, and also listen carefully to the manner in which we have conducted ourselves over the years. I think that never before in the history of this country has such a bill had such a wide public discussion. I think ever since independence, 8 Lokpal bills have been initiated in this house, and with the exception of one in 1985, which was withdrawn, all others lapsed. Sir, a joint drafting committee was set up on the 8th of April 2011. In the course of the joint drafting committee, we heard the voice of the civil society and also opined on what should be the nature of the Lokpal and the Lokayuks bill. Ultimately, there was an all-party meeting on 3rd of July 2011, and then we introduced the Lokpal Bill 2011 in the Lok Sabha on the 4th of August 2011. The bill was referred to the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on 8th of August 2011. The Standing Committee had extensive discussions with all concerned stakeholders. In its 48th report, it made a number of recommendations suggesting major amendments in the bill as regards the scope and the content of the bill, including necessary provisions that ought to be incorporated. Then, in the context of the recommendations of the Standing Committee, we withdrew the bill and introduced a fresh bill in the Lok Sabha, a more comprehensive Lokpal and the Lokayuks bill of 2011 on the 22nd of December 2011. It was passed on the 27th of December in the Lok Sabha. But when it came to this house adopted a motion on the 21st of May 2012 and referred the matter to the Select Committee. I must say, and I must compliment the distinguished members of the Select Committee, that they very carefully looked at various provisions of the bill and made very comprehensive recommendations. The leader of the opposition here was also responsible in taking a very constructive approach to ensure that we have a comprehensive and well thought out legislation which should be presented to this house to be passed. Now, sir, as I want to make it very short, so I just want to give salient features of the bill as passed by the Lok Sabha and then the salient features of the amendments that are being moved in the context of the recommendations of the Select Committee. Sir, the bill as passed by the Lok Sabha provides broadly for the following. 1. It seeks to establish the institution of the Lokpal at the center and the Lokayukt at the level of the state, and thus seeks to provide a uniform vigilance and anti-corruption roadmap for the nation both at the center and at the states. 2. The Lokpal will consist of a chairperson with a maximum of 8 members, of which 50% shall be judicial members and 50% of the members of the Lokpal shall come from amongst the SCs, the STs, the OBCs, minorities, and women. The selection of the chairperson and the members of Lokpal shall be through a selection committee consisting of the Prime Minister, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, the Leader of the Opposition in the Lok Sabha, the Chief Justice of India, or a sitting Supreme Court judge nominated by the Chief Justice of India, and an eminent jurist to be nominated by the President of India. 3. A search committee will assist the selection committee in the process of selection. 50% of the members of the search committee will also be from amongst the SCs, the STs, the OBCs, minorities, and women. 4. The Prime Minister has been brought under the purview of the Lokpal with subject matter exclusions and specific process for handling complaints against the Prime Minister. 5. Lokpal's jurisdiction will cover all categories of public servants, including officers of Group A and Group B and Group C and Group D, employees of government on complaints referred to the CVC by the Lokpal. The CVC will send its report of preliminary inquiry in respect of Group A and Group B officers back to the Lokpal for further decision. With respect to categories of employees from Group C and Group D, the CVC will proceed further in exercise of its own powers under the CVC Act, subject to reporting and review by the Lokpal. 6. The Lokpal will have the power of superintendence and direction over any investigating agency, including the CBI, for cases referred to them by the Lokpal.